If every continent had to send their best predators into a no-rules deathmatch, some would get destroyed in the first 5 minutes. This isn't a video about biodiversity or conservation. This is about power. Pure, terrifying, jaw-snapping power. Who's got the scariest lineup of apex predators on the planet? And who's just kinda coasting? Now, I've spent way too much time thinking about this. Like, way too much. I've ranked all 7 continents based on the strength, savagery, and sheer nope factor of their top predators. Not extinct ones. I'm talking living beasts. Right now, still roaming around, still running the show. And yeah, we're starting at the bottom. And I mean the absolute bottom, with Antarctica. Now, technically, this place does have an apex predator, but only if you're a penguin or a fish. The leopard seal is the big boss down there. It's sleek, fast, brutal in the water, and has a smile that looks like it belongs in a horror movie. But let's be honest, it's only scary if you're in the water. On land, it's a sad sausage flopping around on ice. Also, it's pretty lonely at the top, because there's literally nothing else competing with it. No land predators, no apex bird, just the cold, the ice, and one very angry seal. So yeah, points for looking terrifying with those teeth, but no way this continent holds up against the real monsters on this list. Antarctica's like the fighter who showed up with one move, and it only works underwater. Next up is Europe. Europe used to have some absolute legends. Cave lions, cave hyenas, scimitar-toothed cats. Even Neanderthals probably counted as apex predators back then. It was a full-on survival arena during the Ice Age. But these days, the apex predator scene feels more like the leftovers from a golden era. Respectable, but not exactly terrifying anymore. The biggest name still standing is the brown bear. Big male Ursus arctos can hit 350 kilos, run faster than a horse, and absolutely wreck a deer or a boar. That's real strength. But in most of Europe, they're shy, avoid people, and spend more time digging for roots than throwing down. Still dangerous, but their apex crown is a little dusty. Then you've got the gray wolf, a classic, sharp, social, efficient hunters. Wolves are probably the best team players in the animal kingdom. They coordinate ambushes, take down large prey when the pack's strong, and adapt to all kinds of terrain. But their range has shrunk, and in most places, they're barely holding on. The Eurasian lynx rounds out the top 3. This one doesn't get enough credit. It's quiet, solitary, and ridiculously good at what it does. Stalking through dense forests, pouncing on roe deer with scary precision. But it's not exactly headline material. It's a sleek assassin, not a battlefield tank. You might toss in golden eagles or wolverines as regional threats, but really, Europe's modern predator lineup is more stealthy and tactical than savage and overwhelming. If predators were an Olympic team, Europe's got finesse, not brute force. All right, let's head to Australia, where the apex predator scene is complicated. On paper, Australia looks like it should rank near the bottom. It doesn't have lions, tigers, bears, not even a proper wolf. But then you remember it has one animal that instantly changes the conversation: the saltwater crocodile. This thing is a living dinosaur, over 6 meters long, armored like a tank, bite force that can crush bone like it's popcorn. If you're near the water in northern Australia, this isn't just an apex predator, it's the apex event. Nothing argues with a salty and lives to tell the story. Not buffalo, not sharks, not people. It dominates its habitat with pure prehistoric menace. But here's the catch, and why Australia doesn't climb higher on this list. The rest of its predator team is kind of underwhelming. There's the dingo, which is clever and adaptable, but more mid-tier than top-tier. Dingoes are solid pack hunters and great at taking down kangaroos, but they're also pretty small and constantly under pressure from humans, habitat loss, and even wild cats. Speaking of which, feral cats and foxes are technically predators here now, but they're invasive, not native, and they mostly prey on small animals. Devastating for biodiversity, sure, but they're not taking down anything bigger than a rabbit. So, Australia is kind of a one-man army. The saltwater crocodile is carrying this continent like a solo player in a ranked match, and it's doing a hell of a job. But with no big cats, no bears, and not even a native apex land mammal in the mix, it just can't stack up to what's coming next. Next is North America, and now we're getting into serious heavyweight territory. This continent doesn't have just one apex predator carrying the team. It's got a whole squad. First up, you've got the grizzly bear. Big, grumpy, and built like a freight train. A large male can weigh over 400 kilos and still run faster than you. They've been known to take down moose, fight off wolves, and sometimes even push cougars off their kills just because they feel like it. Grizzlies don't need backup. They are the backup. Then there's the gray wolf, and this time, it's in top form. Unlike their European cousins, wolves in North America roam huge wilderness areas and still hunt big prey like elk and bison. Their pack strategy is dialed to perfection, coordinated, relentless, and incredibly effective. One wolf isn't a big deal. 10 wolves, you're done. You also can't ignore the mountain lion, aka the cougar or puma. It's the ghost of the forest. Silent, agile, and lethal. These cats can leap 5 meters vertically, drag prey twice their size, and vanish before you know what hit you. They don't roar, they don't brag, they just kill and move on. Classic apex behavior. And if you go far enough north, you run into the polar bear, technically part of North America's lineup, since they roam across Alaska and northern Canada. This is the largest land carnivore on Earth. It eats seals, fights off rival bears, and will literally stalk humans if it's hungry enough. It's not fast on land, but on ice and in water, you don't stand a chance. So what you've got here is a diverse, brutal predator team. Grizzlies bring the muscle, wolves bring the coordination, cougars bring the stealth, and polar bears bring the cold-blooded nightmare fuel. Now we're in South America, and this is where things get sneaky. This continent is absolutely packed with predators that specialize in stealth, surprise, and sheer weirdness. Leading the charge is the jaguar. Short, stocky, and ridiculously powerful for its size, this cat isn't built for long chases. It's built to ambush and crush. While lions go for the throat, jaguars go for the skull. Literally, one bite through the head. Done. They'll hunt anything from capybaras to caiman, and they do it without breaking a sweat. In a jungle, the jaguar is the boss, but it's not working alone. You've also got the green anaconda, which might not be fast, but is basically a muscle tube of death. It's one of the largest snakes on Earth, over 5 meters long, over 200 kilograms of pure constricting power. It drowns prey in the water and swallows it whole. It's the kind of predator that shows up in horror movies, and they don't even need to exaggerate it. Then there's the giant otter, which sounds cute until you actually meet one. These things are a little over a meter long, highly social, and terrifyingly aggressive. Packs of them will gang up on caimans, and they'll win. They are absolute chaos in the water. What makes South America unique is how specialized everything is. You've got top predators in the trees, in the rivers, on the forest floor, and none of them rely on brute force alone. They use patience, stealth, and surgical strikes. The whole continent feels like it's playing predator chess while everyone else is swinging clubs. Asia doesn't need to flex. Its predators do the talking. If South America is all about stealth and strategy, Asia brings the raw power, the size, and the range. And leading the charge, of course, is the undisputed heavyweight champion of solo predators, the tiger. Whether it's the Bengal or the massive Siberian, the tiger is everything you want in an apex predator. It hunts alone. It takes down huge prey, buffalo, deer, even crocodiles, and it does it with absolute silence. No pack, no team, just one giant cat moving like a ghost through the jungle or snow, then striking with ridiculous force. It's the kind of predator that doesn't roar before it kills. It just ends you. But Asia is not just a one-cat continent. You've also got the dhole, a lesser-known wild dog that deserves way more credit. These little guys hunt in packs and punch way above their weight. Think wolves, but faster, louder, and honestly more chaotic. They'll take down prey much larger than themselves just by sheer teamwork and relentless energy. Dholes are the underdog predators, and they're terrifying in the right numbers. And then there's the sloth bear, which sounds like it should be slow and lazy, but it's actually one of the most aggressive bears alive. It's not an apex predator in the classic sense. It mostly eats insects and fruit, but if you threaten it, it goes full berserker mode. Even tigers give them space. That says a lot. In the water, Asia has mugger crocodiles and giant pythons, especially in India and Southeast Asia. These reptiles don't play around. Muggers are broad-snouted, ambush-loving crocs that have been around since forever. And the pythons? They're not as stocky as anacondas, but they can still take down deer and drag them into the bush like it's nothing. So Asia isn't just about having one or two strong predators. It's got range. Tigers may be the face of the continent, but the bench behind them is just as terrifying. Africa doesn't have just predators, it has icons. This is the continent where the food chain feels personal, where everything's either built to hunt, survive being hunted, or both. And leading the charge is, of course, the lion. Big, loud, social, and terrifying when it's not even trying. A pride of lions can take down a buffalo, stand their ground against hyenas, and rule entire territories. It's the only big cat that hunts in teams, and it works. But lions are just the beginning. There's the leopard, the stealth expert. Unlike lions, it works solo, climbs trees with its kills, and hunts everything from antelope to monkeys to crocodiles. It's smaller than a lion, sure, but arguably more efficient. If the lion is the king, the leopard is the silent assassin making sure no one else gets close to the throne. Then there's the Nile crocodile, a living relic with the bite force of your worst nightmare. It doesn't chase, it waits. And when it strikes, it pulls entire zebras underwater and doesn't let go. You don't see it coming, you just disappear. And we haven't even touched the spotted hyena, one of the most misunderstood predators on the planet. Laughing scavenger? Nah. These animals hunt in packs, coordinate attacks, crush bone with the strongest jaws per body weight in the mammal world. And finally, there's the African wild dog. Lean, hyper-efficient, and the most successful predator in terms of kill rate. Their hunts are basically high-speed chess. Once they've locked onto something, it's game over. What makes Africa different isn't just the power, it's the balance. Multiple predators, all dominant in different ways, sharing and competing across the same ecosystems. No matter how you rank it, Africa's predator lineup is the most complete, the most brutal, and the most iconic on Earth. Alright, that's how I see it. I know some people are gonna say I underrated Europe, or that jaguars should have ranked higher, or that saltwater crocs deserve more respect, and honestly, fair enough. This is just how I would rank them based on power, presence, and how quickly I'd start panicking if I saw one in the wild. But now I want to know how your list looks. Are you backing Africa for the win? Is Asia underrated? Drop your rankings in the comments, and let's see who you think runs the wild. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. You can also leave a comment with what you would like to see in the following videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.